Hello everyone, and welcome back to Season 1 of my Let's Play series. You have joined episode 26, where I have been really busy between the last episode and this one. I do want to try to start working on immersive engineering today, but before we get into that, I wanted to try to bring you guys up to speed on some of the things I've been doing around the base. Some of you may notice that I have completely redone the basement in granite. I've done the ceiling. I went and stayed with that cobblestone tile that we were using upstairs. But basically, I have unlimited stone now, or I've had unlimited stone for a while, and apparently you can get a chisel and chisel stone. So I may have used up my last bit of chisel. It's alright, we can just make another one. I've just been going with these diamond ones because they do tend to last a little bit longer than the iron ones, and we're not so bad off on diamonds. Let's see if I've got a piece of stone handy in the old grid. But basically, you take the smooth stone, and when you chisel it, you can see that granite is an option. So I've basically been chiseling the stone into granite, and then with the use of the swapping wand, I've been able to go around and basically pretty up the downstairs. Now, I've been working on this for quite some time, programming all the components into the grid. And so now, basically, anytime I want, I can request any of these reactor components, and it'll tell me if I have the components to craft it or not. I've got a few extra laying around. That tends to happen with me sometimes. I usually craft a few more than I need. I've been doing quite a bit of mining, so miraculously I had enough resources to slap together one of these extreme reactors. I also built a second vibrant capacitor bank, so now we can hold up to 50 million RF. I do have it tied into our power monitor, which is actually operating the capacitor bank and the extreme reactor here. So basically, the way I have it set up is when it hits 85% full, and I'll probably go ahead and take that back down to 50. I was using that for testing purposes. But basically, once this drops down, this big reactor will kick on, and we're still using the canola and the magmatic generators. We're not going to give up on those yet. We're all using all of these RF generators together, so hopefully not any one of them ends up having to use too much of a resource. But I'm basically over here using the grid to pipe in yellorium ingots, and we are using the grid to suck out the, I believe these are cyanide ingots that come out as waste. And once I get enough of those cyanide ingots, I'll be able to start crafting the components we need to make this reactor even better. Basically, I had to craft 5 of these reactor control rods, and I was able to do, you can't see them in there because this is liquid ender, and I'll show you how to get that stuff here in just a second. But on the inside, just under those control rods, are the fuel rods, which get loaded up with the yellorium, which again is entered in through this port, the reactor access port, all of which is being fed in by the grid. And let me take you guys upstairs where I have been making liquid ender. Basically what I have to do is we can get an ender pearl, and we put it in a sag mill. And just to make it easier on me, I did not assign it to a drawer. I may in the future. But basically, I wanted this stuff right here. And it takes a lot of ender pearls. I mean, I honestly lost count how many ender pearls I had to do this with. But once I get that ender pearl powder, I can dump it into the smeltery. And with that little tiny bit, that almost immediately emptied into here. You can see that 9 of those, I mean, I barely have 5 buckets in here. 5,000 millibuckets is 5 buckets. So let's try that one more time, because I'm not even sure how much that was. It was, in fact, a very minuscule amount, I can tell you that, because I've been doing this for quite a while, just doing stack after stack of ender pearl. Let's see, we've got a little over 5 buckets now. So if I put this in here, yeah, so that's maybe a quarter of a bucket. So it was taking basically 4 ender pearls to come up with 1 bucket of this stuff. And like I said, I lost track of how many buckets it took. And that's pretty much what I've been working on around here. I've just been kind of prettying things up a little bit. We've got a few more ender pearls over here. I've been basically kind of prettying up this base. I have not done a whole lot more with Britannia. We're not done with it yet. And one of the other things I have been able to start on is this greenhouse glass, and this is going to help significantly increase the production of the canola. And I've also been switching over from these farmers from Actually Editions. Once I started putting in this greenhouse glass, they may as well be called lag farmers. They actually break these to replace them instead of doing like a right-click operation like the ender farmers do. So the ender farmers are going to be a little bit more friendly as far as lag production. And honestly, I was a little disappointed because I actually like the power usage on these farmers a little bit better. They don't hurt my power gen quite as bad. I mean, you can see I've been using some of our new greenwood that I'm able to get with Britannia, and I'll be building a little skeleton out of that to enclose this area inside of a greenhouse to really pump up the canola production. And I know you may be wondering why I'm bothering to try to max out canola production, and I'll show you. This is why I'm doing it, because of these blocks, the matter transmitter and the matter receiver, accompanied by this dialing device. And I'm not quite done setting this up. I wanted to wait until I was recording so I could show you guys. I've been working on a new mining base. And what I'm going to need to do is I would like to finish crafting the matter transmitter. There we go. I should be able to craft that. Might take it a minute. Oh, looks like that actually happened pretty quick. There we go. Matter transmitter. And I'm going to want a dialing device, which I've also taught it how to craft. Looks like I can make this as well. And now I have a dialing device and a matter transmitter. And basically what I did out here, this area may look familiar to some of you that have been following the series. There is our pirate ship that we managed to capture. And I have decided that out here I would like to have my mining base. I think this is going to be a pretty nice area. I've already been doing quite a bit of mining out here. So I basically built myself a little structure out here. And I've installed an elevator that goes from, where are we, about Y76. This stops roughly every 10 or 12 levels until I get to the basement 6. And then down here, let me see, I want to say I went probably a good 20 levels. A good 20 levels down here into our new mining area. And as you can see, I have been really busy. This is basically how I spend my off-camera time. I come down here and mine. Try to make sure it stays lit up down here so that I don't have to worry about mobs too much. Black quartz. I just wanted to show you guys what's been going on with this. And then basically, what I plan on doing is we can mine. You know, I won't be able to mine too far here because, you know, obviously this is the end of the road here. I've gone ahead and glassed this in. I might be able to come off over this way, but this is still part of that hill out there. You know, which is why we've got several more levels. What I'll probably end up doing, I think I meant to stop here. There we go. What I'll probably end up doing is, you know, something kind of like this. You know, I'll mine out this marble because I like building with it. And we will end up using these floors for whatever we need. That's kind of how I like to do things. I don't exactly know what each floor is going to have. But I do know that I'm going to eventually want more floors. I've actually been meaning to come down here and grab this iron for a while. There we go. But anyway, back to finishing up the matter transmitting. In order to make all of this work out here, I started off by placing our network receiver, which is linked to a network transmitter back at the main base. And to get all of this going, I brought this block, some cable, and my wireless transmitter, which gives me wireless access to my grid. And I was able to tell it that I wanted the crafting monitor, the crafting grid, and a fluid grid out here. And this is one of our oil generators. And remember, I was telling you guys that there was a reason I wanted the grid to be able to manage my empowered oil. Well, this is why. I knew that at some point I'd want to set up a secondary base, and I was able to bring an oil generator with me, and this is pulling the empowered oil straight out of our grid system and is powering this oil generator. These are two 5 million RF storage capacitor banks. So I can store 10 million RF out here in my mining base. And what I'm going to want to do, now that I've been able to finish crafting the rest of this stuff, is I'm going to pop in our matter transmitter right here. And I will probably, if I can, see if I can bring some power cables up through here. Which it looks like it won't be a problem. Need a small handful of them. There we go. And I want that dialing device. And I like to name these things, you know, so I'll probably call this, I think I'm already calling it Mining Outpost. Then I should be able to add this dialing device right here. And it should start getting power. See if I have a wrench. I think I may have left my wrench back at the base. Well, that one might do it. I don't know if it will or not. I don't think it will. No, it won't. That's all right. We can just dig in right here so I can get down below there. We got plenty of stone. Just want to make sure that's set to insert. And I'll probably do the same thing here. There we go. And that was a bit of a hole I wasn't really expecting. Well, that is interesting. Do not remember digging this out. We'll make sure it's lit up. This may end up coming in handy later. May have been something I dug to help. Maybe I had a different idea and I don't remember now. Let's get out some of our stone, patch these holes back up. There we go. Now, that's powered, everything else is powered, so I should have direct transport between my two bases, which I think is pretty awesome. Yep, that worked out pretty good. Just need to make sure those are powered. So yeah, definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think. Be sure to tell me if you're liking the stuff that I'm building. Let me know if there's things you'd like to see me try to build. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rambling forward with how I like to go playing, which we're just about ready now. I think we're going to start looking into some immersive engineering. So let's see what we need to get started with that. We'll need a book and a lever. Will give us our engineer's manual. So let's see if we have a book handy, which we do. And we also need a lever. So there's our immersive engineering manual. And I can tell you guys that I know almost nothing about immersive engineering. I've seen some things that it can do, and I've seen how it kind of looks, and I thought it looked like a neat mod to try to learn about. So it looks like the first thing we're going to need to do is craft this hammer. So we'll need, let's see if we can get the grid to craft that for us. There we go, engineer's hammer. Well, there's our engineer's hammer. It's like we just got started. So let's see if it is kind enough to tell us what the next step might be. Looks like we might need to do a coke oven, I'm thinking. That might be how we get started with this. So that is crazy. Looks like there is going to be quite a bit to do. I wonder if looking up in the JEI might be a better way to go. Well, that tells us a little bit more. I think the engineer's workbench might be a good place to start. It looks like we need to head back to our main base. And I'm thinking that what we're going to need to do is start on a coke oven. I'm thinking we can probably start doing that outside. I'm thinking probably over here will be a good area to start that. So let's go back inside for just a minute and let's see if we can't figure out what we're going to need to make our coke oven. Coke brick from immersive engineering. That's what we need. And we need quite a few of those if I remember right. We're missing bricks. Should be able to get those from doing clay. So let's pop down in the basement real quick and see if we can't teach this thing how to make us some bricks. So I want right there. And while we're at it, why don't we just go ahead and teach it how to make the Coke bricks as well. I may need to teach that thing how to make sandstone also. So let's do that real quick. Oh, you know what? That was the wrong. We need to do that up here. Yeah, looks like I'll need, just to be sure, I'm going to make sure that it knows how to do this as well. So that will go in here. This is the process I go through. I basically, when I want to teach the grid how to make things, so I think I'm up to this one. No, next one already. Wow. So now I should be able to request some Coke bricks. And I can. Let's try to do 30 of them. Let's see if it'll let us do 30. Yes. So basically, this part is going to take just a little bit. I do have a double layer capacitor in there, so this one shouldn't take too long. Eventually, once I'm satisfied that our new power system is going to continue to work for us, it's been working pretty good. I mean, this thing's producing almost 10,000 RF a tick. And because I've got it set up to shut off once this is full, we're not really using very much fuel. I do constantly have to go and mine for that yellorium, though. We're still over 300 ingots. And when I started, I was right around 400. And this has been going pretty good for a little over a day now. So I'm actually pretty satisfied with how this extreme reactor is performing. Now this is one of those builds, if you guys want me to show you how to build this, I'm going to need to see some comments in the comments section. It's one of those things, I don't really like to bore people with, placing a block and, oh, I accidentally put that in the wrong spot. And, it just seems like it's a boring thing for me. However, I know that some people might actually want to see these things being built. So if you ever come across a build in one of my episodes and you have some questions or would like to see it actually being built, hit me up in the comments down below, and I'll see about maybe doing a companion episode that goes into greater detail about how to do this stuff. But basically, I just assume that no one wants to see me building things because I think that watching someone else build is a little bit boring. Well, we've got our Coke bricks now, and I think we've got enough to get started on the Coke oven. Let's see here. I thought this thing had a way of showing me how to build it. There's a ton of stuff that we can do with this. coke oven. There we go. Yeah, good. We needed the coke bricks. We need 27 of these blocks in a 3x3x3 cube. Right click on one of the side centers with the engineer's hammer. Okay, so this is basically what I remember. I think we made a few more blocks than we needed, but that's all right. I think we'll just come right out here, and let's start doing this right around in here, I think. See, this is what I mean. Like, I accidentally placed blocks in the wrong spot, and see, I just did it again. That's all right. I don't know if my builders wanted to work on this. We'll give it a shot. Oh, it sure does. Look at that. Well, that just made building this a little bit easier. Aha. And now it says I just need to right-click the center of that. Oh, look at that. Now we have a coke oven. We can put, I believe we can put coal or charcoal in here. And we can start making the coal coke. So let's see if I can access the grid from way out here. Nope, not in range. How close do I need to be? Pretty close. There we go. Let's grab a little bit of this charcoal just to get this started. Well, maybe it's coal I needed. Like I said, I haven't really actually played with immersive engineering myself a whole lot. So some of this stuff is well, actually almost all of this stuff is new for me. So I'm going to be figuring it out as we go. Let's see, I should have regular coal there. Yep, there we go. That was the problem. It needs to be regular coal. And this should give us some coal coke and some creosote oil. That much I do know. And I know that we'll need that creosote oil to make some sticks, some treated sticks. There's a few different reasons that we're going to want the creosote oil. It's like there's a Liz out there. Definitely digging the living wood bow. Not the fastest thing in the world, but definitely better than running out of arrows, I can tell you that. So we've got our coke oven built, which is going to be a start. So it is getting kind of close to the wrapping up point for the episode. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and wrap up the episode. I've been building out here too with our dream wood, just by the way, kind of trying to pretty things up a little bit. We will be coming back to Britannia. There's some more automating we can do. But I really do want to get into the immersive engineering. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and wrap up the episode here. And when we come back next time, I will have read about what it is we need to do with that creosote oil and what we can do with the coal coke to start moving further into immersive engineering. There's going to be some super cool builds that we're going to be able to do with those. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you guys are looking forward to some of the crazy builds we're going to be able to do. I do hope you guys are enjoying the episodes. I really hope to see some comments soon about the direction you'd like the series to go and what kind of mods you might like to see me get into. If you guys are enjoying the series, be sure to subscribe. That way you'll be notified in the future if I put out more videos, and I most definitely will. Thanks for stopping by today, guys, and take care.